We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Jack Jones, Miami Dolphins' newest corner. Coming into this room, he's still very talented of a player with some question marks on the field and off the field. I think, that's the reason he's still available, is some off-field question marks. He's the type of player that I think either starts for you or doesn't make the team because of that, but I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that. I want to really get into his film. Lots of things to like with his game. Very aggressive ball hawk type of player. I think if Miami runs the system that they ran last year with Weaver returning, I think there will be some minor changes, but I think he fits it well with some of the things that he can do. Definitely a ball hawk style player. Can get over aggressive at time, as you'll see on some of these clips, but plays downhill, plays with good physicality, willing to be involved in run support. Can do a good job leveraging route concepts in zone, playing as like that cover two guy. Knocks the ball out at the catch point, will get the interceptions if he's in that situation. Not the best press man guy. I feel like a lot of his negative reps came in press man, and then a lot of times he's susceptible to the double move. You'll see some of those clips towards the end of this. But definitely, like, for the Dolphins corner room, if you look at that corner room, he's probably the most talented guy just based on, some of the stuff that he can do. Just straight up physical talent, the transition, some of the instincts that he's able to play with, would be the best in the Dolphins corner room. It's just, can he, there's some of the maturity issues and stuff like that. Can he, deal with that in Miami? And I think this is an incentives-based deal, which gets me excited. I actually prefer this over like Rasul Douglas, because I think with Douglas, he was just been a stopgap all year long, because he would, I feel like he just been played like all right, and that would have been fine for Miami, but it wouldn't have allowed the young guys to play. I feel like Jack Jones is the type of guy that's either going to play well for you, and if he doesn't play well, the leash will be shorter, and then the young guys will get an opportunity. So lots to like. Lots of interceptions, pick sixes over the last 2 seasons. We'll start breaking this down. First play, Chiefs basically, motion in here, and he basically gets isolated on the outside, playing off-man coverage on Xavier Worthy. To the field, there's a lot of space here. This is a very difficult ask for Jack Jones, the situation that he's in, to play one-on-one in space versus one of the fast receivers in the NFL. And look at him, like, he keeps his leverage initially. Worthy kind of hits that hard step and gets Jones out of the position. Look at his feet here. Look how he's positioned right now. Kind of takes a false step, but he's so athletic and fluid that he's able to change directions, open his hips completely the opposite direction. Very impressive. And then not allow separation and play through the catch point downhill. Very good stuff. He's got great hips and quickness, man. Like, he's much more comfortable in space like this, playing in off man and zone coverages, than he is in press man, where you try to force him to get physical. Sometimes he can get pushed around a little bit, play a little too aggressive in those situations, and that's just a really, really high level coverage rep. This is something that he's probably one of the best corners in the league at doing, is jumping screens for touchdowns. There's like multiple examples of him doing this. He sees Chase Chase was lined up in the backfield, motion out. He identifies this and just gets upfield and jumps it and gets the pick six and beats the receiver. He is going to take those chances. Now, will it always work out for you? No. But that's sort of like, I think the big thing with Miami's system is here. They're trying to get a lot of quick pressure you quickly. So I think Jones in the Dolphin system can take more advantage of that if they let him play in space. And maybe some of the big plays he gave up would lessen. I think, situations differ, but like, he still has really good like traits to work with, and like the instincts and stuff like that. Leveraging. Here's another interception. He actually does a decent job playing the double move here versus Mike Evans, not falling for it, staying over the top. There's some other ones where like he gets too aggressive, but he's able to leverage both route concepts, take away this, get his vision back to the QB, see that he's throwing the seam to the tight end, and then get over the top and then get the interception. That's big part of Jones' game, is making plays like that down the field. Here's another one where he just makes a good break. He basically gets lined up one-on-one on the receiver. Boom. Running that deep dig down the field, and he's there to make a play. Then it turns off script, and he's able to stay in the hip pocket of the receiver, turn away, run the route basically for him at this point, and then undercut it, almost get the interception there, finish at the catch point. Lots of good stuff. I think if you play him as a flat corner, the Dolphins love to run Tampa 2 last year. They ran a decent, like cover 3 and cover 2 were the most ranked coverages for Miami last year. I think for cover 2, he's very comfortable leveraging multiple route concepts and like passing stuff off. He's able to always pass up the first one and then play downhill to the flat or gain depth and take away the the deeper throw. Here he closes and gets a nice hit there on Jalen Wright. Actually had a pretty good game versus Miami. Here's another example of it, him playing cover 2, lined up at the top here. Uh, this receiver initially works to the inside. He's able to pass that off, kind of squeeze it enough so, like, if it does get thrown here, like, I mean, there should be some sort of threat from defensively, but the Raiders end up bringing 5, so they have one less person dropping into coverage, so Jones has a little more of a responsibility here. But the fact that he's able to find Palmer, who's the number 3 receiver on the other side of the field, working on a crosser, gain depth, force Herbert to throw it to, like, his back shoulder, because if he throws it in front of him, Jones is there to get in the way, force the back shoulder, and then it gets picked off by the safety. Just very good job from Jones. He plays with some very good patience. He's really, really looking to make a plays in these spots. He's got a very good feel for the game when he's in these underneath zones and, like, gaining depth or coming down underneath. He can do both in those situations. Definitely one of my favorite parts of his game. Can also close downhill, man. Play through the catch point. Look at him knock this ball out of there from Zay Flowers. Willing to get physical, maintain his leverage here. If he's got the leverage advantage, he's gonna make a good play. Like, look at him just open his hips. He's able to completely flip, like, the angles that he's able to flip his hips. Very uncommon for most corners to be able to do it as fluidly as Jack Jones. And then almost makes a play, get the interception, ball thrown to the opposite guy. He's not even making a play, like, on these, these levels, sort of, sail concept. Get downhill, beat the blocker at the point of attack. He understands situations. He sees what Miami's doing. He closes. Just an aggressive player that will clearly recognizes and understands, like, what concepts teams are trying to run from the film. It's just sometimes teams will watch the film on him and try to take advantage and hit him with, like, double moves, and you'll see those clips later on. But, like, here's another example down in the red zone. I think down in the red zone, you'll see him lose in press man and give up some touchdowns. But in zone like this, cover 2, he can leverage, both concepts. They try to hit him with the smash, the corner to Odell, the Achane kind of sitting on the curl right there, and he's able to leverage both, read to his eyes, see that he's going to throw the deeper one, and then gain enough depth to kind of take away that throwing lane, and the ball kind of just floats on him there. Very good stuff. Another example of him closing downhill, making tackles versus screens. He is definitely an aggressive player in those spots, and it's very exciting to watch him do those types of things. Like, here's another example. Go up cover 2, get hands-on, reroute the number 1 receiver, vision, see what's going on here. The running back leak out of the backfield. Look at him shift that lower body, close downhill, make a nice tackle near the line to gain. That's, like, really textbook cover 2. And the Dolphins like to run. That's why I like Jones as a fit in those spots. He's like, here he actually almost gives up the catch, but you can see he's trying to jump stuff. Like, if he's off and he sees that you're going to run any sort of breaking route where you're going either horizontally or you basically completely stop, he is going to try to jump this. This one goes incompleted, but, like, ball's thrown a little bit to the inside, he gets that jump. And that's why you'll see him lose to some double move. Like, here's another one. Like, Zay Flowers runs this route perfectly. It doesn't get completed. He almost catches it. But, like, Jack Jones kind of loses his leverage. He gets a little too far to the inside and upfield, and he's able to, actually recover pretty nicely. Like, look at him sink those hips. And, like, look where his body, you should not be able to flip your hips like this and completely get out of it that nicely. Ball's incomplete, but probably could have been given up there for a potential touchdown in those situations. But there's still a lot to like to his game. Even on the reps he's losing, I can still see, like, oh man, that transitional ability. It's just the slight technique problems that he'll have, slightly take him out of position. Here's some of the touchdowns he gave up. Just doesn't have the leverage advantage. He's playing outside leverage, maybe expect some inside help from the safety, and then just is late to get there. Ball thrown over the top into the end zone. Like, here's another example. Playing press man down in the red zone versus these crossing routes. That's why you got to get quick pressures down in these red zones in these situations. Because Jones, even though he's not in terrible position, the ball's just throwing good enough to get beat down in these spots and give up some touchdowns. And he gave up a few of them like this in 2024. So I had to show those as some potential examples. And here's an example of him just trying to get too aggressive. This is where he gets lost to double moves. And there's a few examples like this on film. Where he's already ready to jump this. Like, he's playing way too aggressive. And I feel like as the year went on, he tried to do this even more and more. And this is, like, one of my biggest worries as him as a player is, like, he can give up some big plays like this. He tries to jump this, boom, hit with a double move, Drake London, touchdown. And, like, there's no need to do this too because it's 2nd and 10. This wasn't the situation where you really needed to really try that, and, the game was relatively close. So those were some of the negative plays. There's a few other touchdowns he got, like, credited with, but I don't think those ones were really on him. They just kind of gave him the target. They were sort of like miscommunications, or one was like just thrown down in the flat to the running back. He's getting blocked, and they gave him the target. But like here, man, look at him get these screens. Like he understands situations. Eckler motioning into this stack right here, this bunch. He's jumping it. This is back in 2023, and he just gets the pick. Look at him one hand snag a screen. Like he's going to jump screens for interceptions. These last two clips are both from 2023. This is the other one versus the Chiefs. Look at him from a completely like his hips open and completely flip to the other side, like complete over 90 degrees to do that, and then jump this pick off Patrick Mahomes. Uh, like very impressive late season. Jump the ball, pick sixes were littered all over the film. I think in the Dolphins corner room, he is still like pretty easily one of the most talented guys. Probably the most talented straight up, like when you look at that room. But there is like some things he needs to work on in his game that we've shown, and then also some off-field stuff that also has me slightly concerned. But overall, I don't hate it because if it doesn't work out, I think it's an incentives-based deal. You can move on from it pretty quickly, and then I still get to see the young guys plays. But if it does work out, he's still relatively young, and I think actually can make some plays in this system. Like I think this is sort of just like a low risk, potential high reward type of move that I think the Miami Dolphins are kind of looking for, especially at this point in the offseason. So if you enjoyed it, comment, subscribe,